Hi, Captain Steve for this week's BoatTEST Reports. Thanks for being with us today. Let's start right in with a look at the news. Our first story is a big one, and if you're not upset by it, then you're not paying attention. An April 22nd decision by the Federal Communications Commission to give mobile satellite service operator Legato Networks the green light to build and operate a land-based industrial 5G wireless network will negatively impact the reliability of the nation's GPS system and harm boating safety. The problem is Legato's slice of the licensed L-band spectrum, designated for space-based navigation and communication, is located near lower frequency bands used by hundreds of millions of GPS units. We believe, and this opinion is vastly shared, that as the Legato network is rolled out, instances of signal interference will increase. This will give current GPS users no choice but to either purchase new GPS units or potentially suffer continued interference. So picture losing your GPS signal at a critical moment. Obviously, a significant safety concern for any vessel operator relying on this popular and widely used technology. You can find out more on this and add your voice to the mix by going to keepgpsworking.com. On July 1st, a replacement to the NAFTA agreement that has added tariffs to our boats being imported into the U.S. has been amended. The newly ratified U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement has subtle changes for companies shipping goods between the three countries. What this translates to is we should see a relaxation of the heavy tariffs we have added to our new boat fees for the last couple of years. In a move to open up its islands to visiting yachts and pleasure craft, the Fijian government has announced that it plans to establish a Blue Lane initiative that will allow boats to call on the South Pacific Islands. Only one port of entry will initially operate, Port Denaru Marina, the main yachting hub of the Fiji Islands. Officials will consider the entry of yachts and pleasure craft on a case-by-case basis. The FBC report indicates that if a yacht's voyage to Fiji has taken 14 days or longer totally at sea and on docking they can provide a negative for COVID-19 test result of all people on board, then they will be allowed to sail elsewhere throughout the Fiji Islands. Garmin added a host of features to its Qantas 6 series of marine smartwatches, and now it adds solar power to that list. It'll extend the battery life by featuring a transparent solar charging display that harnesses the power of the sun and channels it directly into the battery. Prices for this unit will start at $999. A new boat recently hit the waters from Mastercraft, the 2021 ProStar. Mastercraft CEO Fred Brightbill says the company built an entirely new standard of ski boat that delivers unprecedented precision, control, and performance details that passionate water ski enthusiasts demand and continue to expect from Mastercraft. It's described as remarkably minimalistic while maintaining the high quality, fit, finish, and performance people expect from Mastercraft. Its proprietary hull rails, 4 fins, motorbox design, 10-inch screen with new 3-event software, and more have made it truly unlike any other ski boat on the market. Volavo, a company formed in Munich in 2013, recently introduced and tested a 48-volt electric boat motor, the ISCAD V50. The motor has a peak power rating of 80 kilowatts and nominal power output of 50 kilowatts, and the manufacturer says it will go into production with estimated delivery dates of December this year, and it will be available for a variety of propulsion applications. Sometimes a boat has so much to it that it just seems bigger than it actually is. Such is the case with the Fountaine Pajot Motor Yacht 40 cruising catamaran. Let's take a look. The aft deck is where we get our first glimpse of space and volume aboard this yacht. There's plenty of open space in true cat fashion. Safety is enhanced by the 34-inch high bulwarks to the sides. Aft is a long L-shaped bench seat offset to starboard. The swim platform is accessed from stairs to both sides, with the port side being considerably wider thanks to the positioning of the cockpit bench seating. The flying bridge is accessed from 27-inch wide curving stairs. This roomy entertainment area starts with seating to port in an L configuration around a solid wood table on dual pedestals. There's protection 7 feet overhead from the hardtop with LED lights, and it includes a manually opening sunroof. As we move to the interior, the line between inside and outside is blurred by the open layout, high headroom, and sheer amount of natural light pouring in from the large side windows. The aft galley includes a 2-burner cooktop, and a convection oven is just behind. The sink is at the aft of the L. Across the port is a full-size refrigerator freezer. In the salon is a large bench seat with two 29-inch wide tables on a fixed pedestal and drawers underneath. They rotate and expand to extend the table to a full 5 feet 11 inches. The master provides natural privacy as it encompasses the entire port side. It features an athwartships mounted berth facing a huge hull-side window, allowing premium views along with access to both sides of the berth. Forward is the ensuite with vanity to starboard, and look at this, an open concept walk-in shower. Forward is the enclosed water closet. Now we move to the starboard side. The VIP is located aft and consists of a 79 by 63-inch berth nearly up against the two side bulkheads. The guest stateroom is forward, and notice the entire deck is on a single level. The stateroom can be set up as a queen or with over-under berths. And there's so much more to see in this beautiful yacht, and it's all covered in our features inspection and sea trial videos, so be sure to look for them on BoatTEST.com. In our ongoing look at seamanship, today we focus on our best friend, the spring line. This tames every docking and departure, keeps your boat from getting blown off the dock, and even facilitates single-handed docking. Let's look at this departure. The captain puts the boat in gear with a spring line holding it in position. Now the crew can take off all the other lines. This is called singling up the lines. Notice the prop wash coming out the back. The boat's still in forward gear. Once all the other lines are off, the captain takes the boat out of gear and starts back. Now the crew can remove that spring line, and notice how he leaves it so it can be easily grabbed on the return. This will be the first line put on when the boat comes back. Leave the boat in gear and the boat stays against the dock while all the other lines can be put on. For nearly 30 years, Reggie Fountain's boat company was synonymous with high-performance boats, race boats, and center consoles for tournament fishing. Then the Great Recession hit, and Fountain powerboats became one of its many boat builder casualties. Reggie retired. The company was reorganized numerous times over the next several years. Then happily, a few years ago, a trucking tycoon from Missouri who had a summer house on the Lake of the Ozarks and loved fast boats bought Big Thunder Marine on the lake and became a Fountain dealer. Then he bought the company. His name is Fred Ross, and he has vision for Fountain powerboats, Donzi, and Baja, which make up iconic marine group. And we wanted to see where the company was headed and what direction the future holds for all three companies. So here with us to talk about Iconic Marine is Iconic Chief Operating Officer Jeff Harris. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Is there a new direction that Iconic is headed with the new ownership under Fred Ross?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we are Fountain, Baja, and Donzi. Fred has a vision for growing the company. A lot of the excitement from bygone days have been brought back. We have a wonderful group of people here that are striving to build the best boats out there, fastest, safest, best handling boats on the water. The interest has been really strong on our Fountain Center Console line, as well as our Donzi Classics and our new Donzi GT and the GTZ. So that's where we're putting most of our emphasis. We did bring back the Donzi ZRC just recently, as well as we got a new version of the Fountain 42 Lightning that we just announced back a few weeks ago. And we also have the popular 34 Capt, which is an outboard version of our catamaran. In addition to the sport consoles, we just came up with our new 38 sport console, our 34 sport console Fountain. We've also ventured over into hardcore fish side, which was Fountain's roots. The tournament edition goes back to the 1980s for the Fountain brand center console. We brought back new versions of the 34 and the 38 center console. Tournament edition, just really good hardcore fish guys, a lot of fishing amenities. So we're branching out into different sectors. We also have the 44 Donzi Icon with the quad engine. We built the first one of those some time back. We have the molds here at the Fountain factory. The first one was a prototype built in a company in Florida. We can build that in-house. Even in a twin engine version, it would be a fantastic running outboard version of the 44 Cat.
Now, Fountain, Donzi, and Baja, I mean, the three brands are synonymous with speed. Are you doing anything to court more of the family buyer?
Our 41 GT branched out into that. The first ones we built didn't have a top, so we're putting a hard top on the 41 GT. We're thinking that's going to be a really good utilitarian family type model, as well as our center consoles. Our CC's kind of what we call our standard center consoles, kind of the best of both worlds. You can go fishing and still has a lot of the seating in it. That's where most of our families that purchase our product, head into.
Recently, we saw that Big Thunder Marine, which is owned by Fred Ross, who also owns Iconic, has opened a Florida location. Is this indicative of expanding the dealer network?
Well, Fred is just very bullish on the marine industry. He really likes it. He wants to expand into Florida. That area where Big Thunder Marine in Florida is we think it's a great market area.
Listen, Jeff, I won't take up any more of your time. I really appreciate you talking with us and giving us this forecast into the future of Iconic.
Well, thank you so much, Capt. Steve. Appreciate your time and involving us, and let us know if we can ever answer another question for you in the future.
Now for some questions from the U.S. Coast Guard Captain's Exam. Let's see if you're a super captain or just a super wannabe. Our first question is, when using a buoy as an aid to navigation, which of the following should be considered? A, the buoy should always be considered to always be in the charted location. B, if the light is flashing, the buoy should be considered to be in the charted location. C, the buoy may not be in the charted position. Or D, the buoy should be considered to be in the charted position if it has been freshly painted. The answer is C, the buoy may not be in its charted position. Buoys are anchored pretty well, but storms come and go and can push a buoy up its charted position. Always cross-check your position with the chart. Does it look like this is where you're supposed to be? Our next question, mean high water is the reference plane used for A, all vertical measurements, B, heights above water of land features such as lights, C, soundings on the east and west coasts, or D, water depths on the east coast only. And the answer is B, heights above water of land features such as lights. For example, this lighthouse has a light that flashes once every 6 seconds. It's 65 feet above mean high water and can be seen for 9 miles. Well, that's our show for this week. As always, keep those questions, pictures, and videos coming. Stay safe, practice social distancing, and thanks for watching. As always, I'm Captain Steve, and I'll see you on the water.